Gaudaman quotes from the Guru Granth Sahib. विस्माद रूप विस्माद रंग विस्माद रूप विस्माद रंग विस्माद ना गए फिरे जंत विस्माद पाँव विस्माद पानी विस्माद अग्नि खाए देह विदानी विस्माद धरती विस्माद खानी विस्माद साध लगे प्राणी विस्माद संजोग विस्माद वियोग विस्माद भुख विस्माद भोग विस्माद सिफत विस्माद सलाह विस्माद उजड़ विस्माद राह विस्माद नय रही विस्माद दूर विस्माद दे कही हाजरा हुजूर वैख विदान रहिया विस्माद नानक बुझान पूरई भाग Wonderful are the forms, wonderful are the colors, wonderful are the beings who wander around naked. Wonderful is the wind, wonderful is the water, wonderful is fire which works wonders. Wonderful is the earth, wonderful sources of creation. Wonderful are the tastes to which mortals are attached. Wonderful is union and wonderful is separation. Wonderful is hunger, wonderful is satisfaction. Wonderful is His praise, wonderful is His adoration. Wonderful is the wilderness. Wonderful is the path, wonderful is closeness, wonderful is distance. How wonderful to behold the Lord, ever present here. Beholding His wonders, I am wonderstruck. O Nanak, those who understand this are blessed with perfect destiny. Pranam Acharya Ji. Reading this, the Guru seems to be intoxicated with the One, and it is continuous. I have had this wonder for a few seconds here and there in my life, but they were only a few pleasant moments, and they were also only for the pleasant experiences and not for separation and the other so-called bad experiences like anger, greed, fear, etc. Can you please instruct me on how to wonder correctly so that I can reach this perfect destiny? Gaudaman is saying that when he reads this, he finds that the Guru is drunk with wonderment, and the wonderment is continuous. Two things. One, the intensity of wonderment is very high, and secondly, the wonderment has a continuity. And then he says about himself, I have experienced this wonder for a few seconds here and there in my life, but then that wonder related only to the pleasant experiences and not to the so-called bad experiences like anger, greed, fear, etc. How to wonder correctly? Wonderment, Godhaman, is an expression of innocence. You cannot wonder if you are already knowledgeable. You cannot wonder if you carry a lot of self-belief. You cannot wonder if the world already stands explained to you. You cannot wonder if you walk around with an air of self-assured certainty. Wonderment comes to a clean eye and a free mind. We are born conditioned, and then the pile of conditioning only grows in weight and in its hold upon us. Therefore, you sometimes do see kids wondering, but it becomes very difficult for grown-ups to wonder. Kids do not have too much of an obligation to call themselves knowledgeable or wise. They have yet not absorbed that to not know is to fall in the ranks of society and in the eyes of people. So they are able to wonder. It is not quite a special thing. Anybody would wonder. But we have done something very special, therefore we have lost the capacity to wonder. How is it not possible that you look at the rising sun and do not stand wonderstruck? How is it possible that you look at a rhinoceros or an octopus or the humble monkey and are not left just wondering? For that matter, how is it possible that you look at the great discoveries of explorers or the great inventions of science or the most recent technologies, and do not feel wave of awe. Because our doors are closed. Because we have started carrying multiple beliefs. There are many beliefs that hinder wonderment. First, obviously, is I know. Then there is the belief, how will it help to know? So I know that even if I know, it won't help me. The quality of my life won't change. I've given up. I'm hopeless. I'm resigned. I'm down on my knees. Even if I do come to know how the seasons change, even if I do come to know how one's moods change, that will not help me. Why do I need to figure out how the car engine works? How does that help me? Equally, how do I need to figure out how the inner system of a human being works? That does not help me. These are all beliefs. And we have bought into these beliefs. Hence, wonderment does not appear attractive, beneficial. The gurus are singing of wonderment here. They are delighted. Godhaman says they appear intoxicated. Oh, that's probably not a very appropriate word to use, but still it tells of what he is trying to point at. He says it appears as if the author of these lines is so drenched in wonderment that he has and he is nothing else. It is strange. We call the wise ones as jnanis. We call the guru as the knower, the jnani. And still the guru, Guru Nanak here. Guru Nanak Dev has so much wonderment, but the common man has no wonderment. The guru is certainly a knower and he still wonders. The common man knows nothing and yet does not wonder. And that will tell you the importance of wonderment or amazement or awe. The teacher knows precisely because he is not loaded with knowledge, and hence he knows something very important. How does he know? Because he keeps on knowing. It is not static knowledge. What wonderment brings to you is live knowledge, dynamic knowledge, a quality of knowing, the faculty of realization, which is not the same as obtaining something, which is the same rather as breathing. You obtain a packet of goods and you have obtained it. The process is over, right? You are done with the achievement. You can at most store it now. The achievement is no more. The achieved good is. The achieved good is. The achievement belongs to the past. You can at most hold the achieved good. Now look at breathing. You are never done with breathing. That is realization continuous. Getting a packet of goods delivered to you is knowledge. There is a great difference between knowledge and continuous knowing. The commoner has knowledge, a bit of it, that is, not too much. The commoner has some knowledge, but he is so incapable of gracefully carrying this knowledge that this knowledge becomes too much for him. He swells up. He starts strutting, puffed up. A little knowledge, that's all he has. And this feeling, I know, blocks him from knowing. He does know. It is not that he does not know anything. He does know a little bit of what? Of static knowledge. The sun rises in that direction. The sodium atom has these many protons, electrons, neutrons. Where did his wife come from? What is the name of his kids' school? A few basic things he knows. Experience has given that knowledge, schooling has given, university has given. And media and TV, they all keep producing a semblance of, therefore a confidence of knowledge. Based on this, he starts saying, I know enough to carry on with my life. And then nothing perplexes him, nothing comes to him as a mystery. Now, mysteries are by themselves not very important. Exploration and science cracks open mysteries. But if you have no flavor for mysteries, then you can never enter mysticism. Now, mysticism is not the same as mysteriousness, but still there is a relation. If you cannot stand in front of something mystified, if you never feel spellbound, if you don't even feel, let me say, bewitched, if you are always firmly in control, then mysticism, that great dimension, will not open up for you. The great gurus knew a lot about the world and its affairs, and yet they were humble enough to also know that the real is beyond knowledge. And the real is the foundation of this world. Therefore, all knowledge is incomplete. So they never allowed themselves to become certain that they even know this world. Because to say that one knows the world is to indirectly say that one knows the truth, and the truth cannot be known. You can surrender to the truth. You can step into the truth and be dissolved. But you cannot know the truth. And to claim a total knowledge of the world is to claim a knowledge of the truth. Do you see this? The truth is the foundation of the world. If you claim that you know the world, you have made a pretty serious claim, because you are saying that you know the foundation as well. It is a false claim made in vanity. Take anything and see whether you know it fully. Take anything. Take this. Take this. Take this. Take this. And try asking yourself, do you know it? You will find that to explain one thing, you have to necessarily use some other thing. That's how explanation proceeds, What is A? A function of B. What is B? What is D? A thing depends on another thing. A concept depends on another concept. And if your urge to know is not very deep, then you explain a concept in terms of another concept and start feeling satisfied. You explain a phenomena in terms of another phenomena and start feeling satisfied. What do you say? Oh, the old phenomena I already know of, and the new phenomena has now been explained in terms of the old phenomena, so now I know the new phenomena as well. Do you know any phenomena? What does the roof stand on? Walls. What does the wall stand on? What does that stand on? What does that stand on? Oh, sir, finally everything stands on the earth. What does the earth stand on? Oh, the earth doesn't stand on material, the earth stands on gravitation. What does that stand on? Sir, now you are being unreasonable. No, I'm just asking a few dumb questions. Sir, what does gravitation stand on? No, that I do not know. No, please explain. That means you do not even know what does this terrace, this roof stand on. Do you? But very easily you convince yourself that you know about the roof. Do you? One thing depends on the other thing depends on something else. And the moment you dig a little deep, you find that you cannot proceed any further because you do not know what the thing in your hand now depends on. And we are not talking mysticism here. We are talking about a roof made of steel, concrete, cement, material things. So even to claim a knowledge of the material world is false. We do not even know the material world. We know a few things about the material world which are all just incomplete. The saints knows the world and therefore knows that even the world cannot be fully known. The world is knowable only to the extent it is available to the senses and mind for observation and analysis. After that, even the world becomes incomprehensible. Physics stops. Now there is wonderment. Now you can wonder, what is the roof resting on? But if you have a quick deal to cut, if you have a few important documents to sign, then it is not very practical to wonder about the roof, or is it? Or if below that roof you are busy fighting with your wife, then you cannot be consumed in the fight and yet keep wondering, what is this roof all about? It would be a little comical, you see. In 1 second, you are abusing her. In the other second, you are wondering, what is this roof all about? If you will wonder too much about the roof, you will lose the opportunity to abuse her, And it's a very lucrative opportunity. Further, to abuse or to consume, you need a special kind of mood. Wonderment will spoil that mood. You need to be at your ugliest worst. No? You need to dig out all the rottenness from within and throw it on the other's face. But if you'll start wondering like a little kid, it will become difficult to become a shit sprayer. So we don't wonder. Wonderment is a mood spoiler, You are just ready to kill someone. And then you start wondering, what is life? What is death? Now it will become difficult to shoot. You stand ready to consume somebody's body. And then suddenly you start wondering, what is body? What is this thing we call as being alive? The mood is gone. And the partner too. You are busy fleecing your customer. And then suddenly you start wondering, why does the mind want so much money? What is money in the first place? What exactly is money? How is it valuable? You have lost the customer. Gone. So we don't wonder. our limited knowledge is very useful to us. It helps us do exactly what we want to do. These two things go together, I want to slap her. That is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. She is evil. This is my knowledge. This is my knowledge. Of course, diluted and perverted knowledge. Totally contaminated knowledge. Maybe just a dream, an assumption. But still, I call it my knowledge. I know that she is evil. So, these two go so much hand in hand, don't they? Knowledge says she is evil. Desire says slap her. So, knowledge allows us to do what we want to do. Our knowledge, therefore, is an aid to our vritti, our tendencies. Do you see what knowledge does? Knowledge orients itself with vritti. So, you want to slap someone, therefore it is very necessary to have the knowledge that she is evil. Now, wonderment kills knowledge. At least it kills knowledgeability. Therefore, wonderment is such a nasty thing. If you start wondering, you won't be able to do what you want to do. Do you see this? You can only do what you want to do as long as you know what you do. Wonderment is to humbly accept that you don't know a thing. And if you don't know a thing, what right do you have to act as you want to act? Do you get this? But you would act as you want to act because that action is anyway not dependent on knowledge, it is dependent on the vritti. Knowledge is being used just as an aid. Knowledge is being used just as a justification. Even without the knowledge, you would do what you want to do, right? The fact is, you want to slap her because you are just jealous of her. Anything. But you can't tell yourself that I want to slap her because I am jealous of her. So you invent the knowledge that she is evil. And to remain good in your own eyes, it is important that you tell yourself, I am slapping her because she is evil. So the action is coming from knowledge, which means the action is not coming from vritti. So I am a good man. I am a good man. I am not slapping her because I have evil tendencies. I am slapping her because she is evil. Now wonderment will kill knowledge. Once knowledge is gone, your justification is gone. Now how will you do what you want to do? But if you won't do what you want to do, the vritti will cry out. Because the deep vritti wants to slap her. The deep vritti is of jealousy and it wants, I want to slap her. Therefore, wonderment is such a problem. Do you see this? Wonderment will bring all your plans to a screeching halt. All your plans depend on your knowledge. And to wonder is to say, I do not know. If you do not know, how will you act? Ostensibly, it is a good thing that you won't be able to act because you were anyway acting on incomplete knowledge. But we have seen that we were not acting on knowledge, we were actually acting on vritti. So if you take away knowledge, you just take away the pretext for action. Not the center of action. The pretext, the alibi is knowledge. The center is vritti. So the center would still kick around and want to be expressed. But now the alibi is gone. Now what would you say? Why are you slapping her? Would you admit that you are just plain jealous? Difficult. That is why Guru Nanak Dev Ji wonders and the common man does not. Do you see this? It is so mesmerizing. The gurus who are in direct contact with the truth, they are wondering, oh, what is all this about? The common man on the road says, I know. Nothing strikes him as being beyond himself. Nothing at all. He is just self-assured. Oh, he is cocksure. I know. When I was still in school, quite young, this started occurring to me. I started developing a distaste for confidence. I was probably not even into my teens then, but it so started happening that I would not like people who would carry an air of certainty about them. People who had an explanation for everything. I would rather be with those who professed ignorance, whose eyes said, how little we know. And then there were those who had nothing in their eyes except vanity. It probably is still the best way, or one of the best ways, to see where one stands. There are many who find no need for any self-doubt. They would just not look at themselves as if everything is sorted within. They would just keep looking outwards. And they are the most self-assured ones. You can see it in their body language, their gestures, the total personality. They are totally closed to learning. They are not close to knowledge, they are close to learning. And there is a great difference between obtaining knowledge and learning. Knowledge they can obtain, for that they are ready. Learn, they won't. Obtaining knowledge is a superficial thing. Learning is a deep and humble change within. Obtaining knowledge is like having pizza delivered at your doorsteps. You go and you receive the pizza packet. Learning is like letting the beloved come deep into your living room. There is a great difference, or there is not. And the result of lack of wonderment is that they can't listen. The one who cannot wonder loses all receptivity to existence. He loses all sensitivity. The delights of listening become unavailable to him. But one thing is there, he exudes confidence. And the worshippers of confidence worship such people, obviously. He is always ready to take charge of the situation. He is always ready to dole out advices. He always has an opinion. And he has a very confident opinion. A certain shyness, I'm talking of very basic terms, a certain introversion, these are necessary, you know. Today, you all look at me as a teacher who publicly speaks, who is constantly facing the camera. But I was and I still am quite to use a basic term, shy. In a train compartment, it is unlikely that you would find me holding forth on any general topic. I won't. I'm much more content looking out from the window and probably just wondering. I do not know whether I wonder. And then I see that there are those who are busy asserting themselves upon others. And these others are just fellow travelers. Perchance acquaintances. You don't even know their names. But still, it becomes very important for many to establish their confidence upon all and sundry. Even today I can speak to you so much. It's a lot that I speak to you. Because I speak from the point of not knowing. I do not know your questions, and I obviously do not know any answers. And because it is required, so I speak. Otherwise, I do not know how would I speak. Loosely speaking, I am what you can still call an introvert. And probably that was the reason, one of the first things I told college students when I started meeting them a decade back was that confidence is fear. I would speak a lot on confidence because confidence was one thing. I was very unhappy with, simply put. Sometimes I would call students to the podium and ask them to speak. I would say, I have spoken so much, now show me what you want to say, come over and speak. And I would rather like the reluctant ones. Not the ones who would gallop to the stage and want to hog the limelight. Might just be my personal bias. Even today I am cautious of those who with great certainty say, Acharya ji, what a tremendous session. You delivered lovely insights. Today I realized so much, and I have understood that. What have you understood? Even I don't understand what I say. How have you understood? Far more dear is the humble admission that something touched me, something opened up. The fog is clearing. The essence of wonderment is quietness, subtlety. The essence of confidence is loudness. Confidence is gaudy. Silence is godly. That's the difference. But we prefer gaudy things, don't we? I wonder why I am talking a little more about myself today. I can only wonder. You know, when I was a kid, I was once supposed to play a rabbit on stage. And I got the dress made, measured and duly stitched. And such long years were there. As long as my hands. And like all cheeky rabbits, I was supposed to say a few cheeky, cute lines on the stage. But I would bumble. I'm a very slow starter, I take my time. But the rabbit was supposed to jump in, as rabbits do. Then utter those smart, confident lines and run away, as rabbits do. Ultimately, a day before the performance, that dress was taken away from me and given to some girl. Oh, she was quite smart. My mother inquired from the teacher, why did it happen? And she said, because your son cannot speak in front of an audience. That's fine. Well, maybe not as a rabbit. I still can't. Years back, a TV channel came to me. Pragya TV was the name. It was many, many years back. So they said you have to deliver an nugget in 2 minutes. I said, 2 minutes I take just to say, this one comes from Alok. 2 minutes is the time I take just to walk to the pitch. And you expect me to score a century in that time? Can't. So they kept harassing me. And that 2-minute recording was the most difficult session of my life. I think it is still there on YouTube. You know why it was difficult? Because they won't allow me to wonder. Because they won't allow me to be silent. Because they won't allow the thing to rise by itself from within. Now you see the relation between wonderment and sahajata. When you don't already have it, then it spontaneously, with sahajata, rises from within. But for those 2-minute outbursts, you need to already have it in your hands. Then you don't have the allowance, the luxury to let it creatively build up and express itself in an original way. So well, I spoke something. Do not look at that video. You won't like it. Sometimes when one is called to speak at several organizations, they would say, please come over and speak for an hour. So I would say, speak for an hour, what does that mean? I have nothing to say. Say, but you're a speaker. No, I have nothing to say. But you're a speaker and you have 6,000 videos. No, I have nothing to say. I can be in a conversation, and that conversation can lead to an outpouring. But as such, I have nothing to say. It is possible that in the conversation I speak for 98% of the time, but it still has to be a conversation. Otherwise, I have nothing to say. So when a thing comes, a topic comes, a question presents itself, then one just, you could say, wonders at the question. And in that wonderment is contained great creativity. In that wonderment lies a humble admission of one's ignorance. The question comes, and I know that I know nothing about it. And then comes forth, comes out something of which I have no previous idea. This requires faith. Knowledge is security. But to proceed from a point of wonderment is the faith and the guts to live with insecurity. I do not know, but it will still happen. How? I do not know. I do not know, but I would still be able to answer life's questions. How? I do not know. It is not merely a thing about a Q&A session. It is a thing about living life. Life is continuously throwing questions at you. How do you want to respond to them? From the little botched up knowledge that you have, as much knowledge about the universe as is contained in a class 5 geography book. Oh, even that is a great exaggeration. A class 5 student of geography may know something about the universe, but we do not know even that much about life really. And yet we want to proceed on great voyages through life. Would that knowledge take you through? The class 5 student wants to go on transatlantic travel. He wants to cycle through Asia. Starting from Malaysia, he wants to reach up to Europe. And what is this adventure based on? A class 5 geography book. This fellow may succeed. There is some chance that this fellow may succeed, but there is no chance that we will have any success in life based on our knowledge of life. Therefore, do you want to respond to life true knowledge. There is security in that. You feel you already know. There is security in that, but a great failure. What do you want? A secured failure or an insecure, adventurous success? Unfortunately, most of us are so damn afraid. We prefer a secured failure. Even if we are going to fail, let there be security. I would at least know that I am failing. Please operate on my eye with my eyes open. Why? I would at least see that I am turning blind. That is what fear does to mind. It simply distorts and paralyzes it. The mind loses the capacity for wisdom and wonderment. You know, Jiddu Krishnamurti is so lovable in many ways. He does not throw knowledge at you. He asks questions. As if he doesn't know. And he really doesn't know. He just asks questions. Sometimes it befuddles the reader. The reader is looking for a solution, an answer. The answer actually never arrives. Just the questions keep progressing. Or maybe after 20 questions, there are two precious insights. But he won't hurl those insights at you. He can't, because even to him those insights come after those questions. Those insights aren't axioms. Those insights aren't holy canons. He comes upon those insights, and you can see him walking along with you. It's a live thing. It's a real-time thing. You can see that he is walking along with you, asking questions, saying this, saying that, and now he has stumbled upon something great. And now suddenly, in this climate of wonderment, he has discovered something precious. And he discovered it right in front of you. He didn't already have it. It wasn't a dead thing in his hand or pocket. It is a fresh, live thing that just emerged. And he did not know in advance what would emerge. But he had the great faith to let it emerge irrespective of how it would look, how it would sound, whether it would be in agreement with his previous statements or not. After all, when something unknown is emerging, you do not know what it's going to be. And if you're a man of principles, then you have reasons to worry. Because that which is now freshly emerging can be in total opposition to all the principles you have previously stated. Now there is a great loss of face. Where would you hide? In a live process, you have just opened up something which puts your own credibility at stake. So it requires a large heart. It requires a lot of courage to live from spontaneity, to live from wonderment, to live from innocence. Does it not? Most people are suckers for consistency. And consistency is security. Do you see that? They want to be consistent. They say this is our principled position. This is the stream of thought we belong to. This is our ideology. And whatever we say next must conform to this ideology. Otherwise, we would be called rolling stones. Otherwise, we would be called self-contradictory. No, if you have those fears, then the delights of wonderment would remain unavailable to you. You must be prepared to be inconsistent. You must be prepared to be unreliable. You must even be prepared to be very ordinary, not respectable. You must be prepared to switch positions as long as the center is all right. What's the harm in flipping positions? Exteriors can change, can't they? And if you wear only one exterior for too long, it stinks. You need to put on a new one, don't you?